Ahsoka and Dooku. Because it would have been too weird.
They couldn't call it odds and ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things we never got to.
Welcome to PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm joined today by Janine Gagliardi.
Hello.
Janine, how are you?
I'm good. I'm defalling the house. I'm about to Christmas it up. It's about to be a blank canvas for like a day, and then Christmas is gonna puke all over here.
I still have Halloween decorations up.
Well, we threw out our pumpkins today.
Nice.
You know, you gotta the ceremonial, because those things will stick around.
Have you seen all the people who bought the 12-foot skeletons, and now they're like figuring out different things to do with them?
Oh. Like the Home Depot skeletons?
Yeah,
like
the 12-foot one that got huge. Like, I saw one just like dressed as Santa. One is like they put like lights in his hands, like he's like
he's decorating the house.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's fun and cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know, it's like storage with these things. Like, what are you gonna do?
I know.
Most of the storage in my house is used for decorations, which is absurd.
Yeah, that is absurd. But I'm in that same situation.
I'm like, we can get rid of these kids' clothes. We don't need this. Come on, I need more things. I need more tchotchkes.
I need more tchotchkes. So today we're here to talk about Tales of the Jedi. How many episodes is this? 6?
Yeah,
a 6-episode Star Wars animated show. Because animated anthology is our jam.
It is our jam.
Specifically you and me, it's our jam.
That's right.
I'm going to come out the gate and say that there are things I like about this.
Yeah, definitely.
But in general, I'd say I don't like this very much.
I like the Dooku stuff.
The Dooku
that
stuff
surprised me that I would like it.
Because you find yourself going, well, he's a real gray character. He really just sees the corruption politically and goes along with Sidious because he truly is a separatist.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want I agree. But it's odds and ends. It's things that they wanted to get to in the Clone Wars that they didn't.
Right.
And, I like Ahsoka, but Dave Filoni, like, he invented Ahsoka. And
oh, did he?
He's like,
is it like Paul Dini, Harley Quinn?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
He'll put Ahsoka in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, look, I'll come out the gate with some controversy. I am a huge fan of Star Wars. And I'm a huge fan of animation.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a fan of the Clone Wars.
Have you watched it?
Yes.
Okay.
I watched
how many
half
seasons
of
is
it.
Clone Wars?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And then they shot out like another one like not that long ago.
That's why I haven't touched it. I'm just like, it's
too
a
much.
Lot.
But I watched a huge chunk of it.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the like origins of Saw Gerrera, it's in the Clone Wars story. Because he's like a young idealist kid with his sister, and his sister gets killed with the Empire, and that's what gets him on the path to like where we see him with Forrest Whitaker.
Okay. And when was he struck by lightning? Because that spooky old voice of his.
He's making all the choices, and I'm here for it.
He really is making some bold choices.
Whatever I think of him, I think about what Jenny Nicholson did a reaction to the trailer to fucking. Oh man, this is not a good. What's the name of the movie that he's
Rogue
in?
One?
Rogue One.
Oh.
God, we're already starting in a bad place. Rogue One. She called him Robo Legs McLaughlin, which it's almost as good as Saw Gerrera.
Oh man,
what the hell was the point? Oh, you know what? You know what it is? It's it looks good in the dark. Like anytime it's dark, it looks good. But whenever it's like really bright scenes, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And I feel like they have dead face. It's not a very expressive form of animation. And
I don't particularly like this animation.
No.
I mean, especially when, we get to, is it next week we're doing Visions?
Yeah.
When we get to those different animation styles,
my
it's like
God.
so rich.
Mwah.
I know. And this is just, I guess it's cost effective. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's easier to render them. I feel terrible saying this if like the animators are like, I worked so hard on this.
Well, you know what it is? Like the designs aren't bad. It's just the animation is bad, and it's
a little flat. Like
it's very flat. Yeah. Like even sometimes there are really exciting things happening, and it's like your faces are not emoting for me. Yeah. It's like the new Lion King. It's like do something with your face. Don't be afraid to be a little bit cartoony. Like there's a reason why you have this medium. So
okay, so my neighbor is like, you could see right into their window, and like I never really see them walking. Like I see them outside and stuff, but like I never see them
with clothes on.
I never see them like walking around inside the house, and just the light just went on, and one of them in an all white hoodie just walked past the window. So it looked for a second like a ghost was walking past the window, and my heart just stopped in my chest. Oh my God! Oh,
Janine, no one's lived next door for 40 years.
Oh man.
So yeah, there are 6 episodes, half about Ahsoka, half about Dooku. They call it Tales of the Jedi as a way of trying to tie this all together thematically. But I think there should be a memorandum at Lucasfilm. We're not allowed to use the word Jedi in a title.
Okay.
For about 10-15 years.
Just hold off.
No more Light of the Jedi, Dark of the Jedi, Fall of the Jedi, Jedi Order 3. None of this. Let's just stop throwing it in. Just stop it.
Who needs it?
Just stop it.
You always say there's no more Jedi. It's the last Jedi. Oh, the Jedi died out years ago.
Many Jedi.
Literally everything except for Andor has a Jedi in it. So you know what? Leave it alone.
Yeah. And with every Jedi, Luke becomes less special.
It's true.
Let's see. Episode 1 is called Life and Death. It's 18 minutes, directed by Nathaniel Villeneuve. Villanova, sorry. Written by Dave Filoni.
This was one of my least favorite ones. Yeah.
But you could tell he's wanted to do this forever. It's just Ahsoka being born.
Yeah. Ahsoka's born. Her mother seems to be more adherent to, I guess, the either spiritual traditions or the religion that they follow. Trite. I'm not really. Yeah. And so they have to go out and hunt like a deer, like an analog animal for a deer. Right. And the elderly lady in the town like gives them a blessing. Or did she give them physically something? Did she give them like a token or something?
I don't remember. Well, at
the very least, she says like, good luck.
Yeah, it seems like this ritual is a little bit old fashioned even for them, because the husband's like, teases her. You're really going to do this?
It's like, okay, have take fun. Her on a hunt? Yeah. So she's wearing the Ahsoka on her chest, like Baby Bjorn style. Yeah. And has basically a rifle. Yeah. And she goes to hunt. And I don't know.
And she's hunting a battle cat from He-Man.
Well, no, I mean, she's hunting the deer, but then the battle cat comes along because I guess it smells it. Yeah. So then this absolutely monstrous, like, saber-toothed tiger pops out of nowhere and attacks them. Yeah. And she tries to fend it off, and then it takes off with baby Ahsoka. Yeah. And the villagers kind of hear a commotion, and they come to help. Yeah. But it's too late. He grabs baby Ahsoka and takes off. And then they're kind of just like, well, I guess he has the baby now. So we better go home. Yeah. It's like, huh?
And when she's with...
Also, they don't seem that far out of town. Like, it's not like she's camping. Right, like, she goes and takes a walk. Right, like, a pretty short walk to go find this animal. And, like, you mean to tell me that 15 feet outside of town is this gigantic monster? Like, this thing is huge.
Unless he's just not feeling snackish, she's probably dead.
Yeah, like they're at the mercy of this thing 24 hours a day. It could stroll into town whenever it wants.
But of course, she like communicates with it.
Right.
Which...
It doesn't chomp her immediately, which it should. Right. But he just kind of holds her...
Well, she's like
a little like delicate egg and takes her into the forest.
She's a little bit of a Beastmaster, which is a Jedi power that I don't think's ever been in any of the movies, but it's it's in some of the animated stuff.
In the prequels, is it Obi-Wan or Anakin? Anakin. When they're when he and Padme and Obi-Wan are like trapped in that arena. And they're gonna be like fed to these giant beasts. When he escapes, he kind of like calms one down and like has his hands out and he kind of like force calms him, and then he gets on his back and rides it. Right. So that I remember that distinctly.
Right. I kind of like the shot again, like I said, when it's dark and like sort of low key and shadowy, it looks better. I like the shot where like she like boops the tiger on the nose. Yeah, because it's cute and it looks a little bit like Birth of Man.
Okay, yeah.
But
there's no real stakes in this because we know Ahsoka is an adult,
right?
At some point,
right? And
what really would have been wild is if the monster ate her and they were like, "Oh, that was your older sister,"
right?
We didn't take you out on the hunt.
Would you like? You know what? Let's just name this other kid Ahsoka as well.
Yes.
You're Ahsoka too.
Do over.
No, at every single beat, you know exactly what will happen.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly. She's going to communicate with the animal. The animal's going to be docile and bring her back and return her. They're going to be like, "Oh, this child is special. Right. She's a Jedi."
You know, and
it's exactly what happens.
Right. The old lady's like Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if we hadn't had the incredible Grogu in our lives, the idea of seeing a baby Jedi and like figuring out a baby is a Jedi would be interesting. But we've seen it done like better somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we do, it's one Ahsoka episode and then like a bunch of Dooku's in a row and then like back to Ahsoka.
It's a little jarring.
It doesn't even like,
there's no flow to it.
No, it doesn't flow at all. The second episode is called
I mean, I guess, is it timeline? Like she's born and then Qui-Gon is like this age when she's born.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
because by the time she's an apprentice,
back and forth more. I think, you know, like when's the next time there's an episode of her?
Is it when she's the Padawan and Anakin's training her?
Oh, that episode sucks. Yeah, episode 5, practice makes her. Yeah. So she was in episode 1, and then 2, 3, and 4 are Dooku, and then episode 5.
5 and 6 are her, and then there's no more Dooku.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Dooku's story is better.
It's much better, I think. Yeah.
It would be. They should just do. I'm sure there's like 9 books of this, but like just a Dooku animated film would have been better. I think. We've got enough Ahsoka. I mean, I guess the connection is they both were Jedi and then left, but one left to be evil and one just left because she was just like, the Jedi suck.
Also, the Jedi are over as far as she's concerned.
Right.
She's on the run.
Right. She sneaks into Padme's funeral, which was cool. Yeah, but all right. Well, I guess we'll go in order. So episode 2 is called Justice.
Right. This is where Dooku and his unnamed Padawan, who the audience is
Seems
not
quite Irish.
Yeah. Who the audience is not supposed to know is Qui-Gon Jinn.
Are we not supposed to know that?
I think it's like it's a little reveal-y when he says it.
Oh, yeah.
At the end, he's like, Qui-Gon Jinn. So, my stars. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you're right. Right. But he's pretty.
I mean, he looks
Irish.
like he's animated to look like Liam Neeson.
He looks like Liam Neeson a lot. So Count Dooku and his apprentice.
I was happy to have more Qui-Gon.
Yeah. In the later episode, they got Liam Neeson to voice him.
Really?
Which blows my mind, given how much he didn't want to come back. So part of me feels like they were filming his like one shot in Obi-Wan, and then Dave Filoni just like got in and it was like, hey,
physically grabbed him in the studio.
He's just like,
come over here and just do this line.
Put a microphone in front of his face. Like, just say this one thing. Just say this one thing.
Please. What does he say?
He has a line to Dooku after it's right after episode 1 because he's come back to the temple and everyone's abuzz of the fact that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan saw a new Sith and there hasn't been a Sith in a long time. And they run into each other in like the elevator or something. It's interesting to like figure out the timelines of things.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially because like Yaddle disappears after episode 1.
Yeah.
And this gives a reason for why she disappears.
Yeah.
But you know me, I can't get enough Yaddle. I am a Yaddle fan. I'm a Yaddle stan.
Oh my God. Do you subscribe to Yaddle Tattle?
Well,
it's a gossip mag devoted to all things Yaddle.
it's a bit of a rag, but you know what? So this is a good one. Count Dooku and his apprentice, young Qui-Gon, travel to a
medieval village.
Yeah, well, I love how gray.
Yeah.
I gotta say, of all the Dooku stuff, I love how somber it all looks.
Yeah.
Like I said, the animation looks better when it's like that, but it just, you see Coruscant always is like, well, in the prequels, Coruscant's like a bustling town, and then in Andor, Coruscant's like, it's like Rome. It's like political intrigue. And here, like, Coruscant is like gray and depressing. Like in the later episode when he's like, after Qui-Gon dies and he feels bad and he's like in front of the Jedi tree.
He's like, I used to bring him here. He used to love this tree.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. You think of I guess because we so associate with the places that these actors are from, like on Earth, that you're like Ireland, rolling green hills. As I think of where he's from, and it's like
Space Island.
He was born in he's from Space Island. He was like a space shepherd.
Yeah.
No, but he's from Coruscant. He's a city kid. He just doesn't strike me as a city kid.
Was he a city kid or was he just?
He was maybe
because they steal them when they're young.
Maybe they took him when they're real little. Yeah,
that's
so
what
I guess
they're supposed
just being
to do.
raised on Coruscant.
Jedi suck.
Yeah, they're no better.
They're the fucking worst.
They're no better than the Empire.
So they go to this impoverished planet.
Everyone looks like they're from a Renaissance fair.
It's pretty. They're all like they're all shitsmiths.
Yeah, they are.
They all just shovel shit all day.
It's just a village that's like seen the plague multiple times.
So a senator's kid has been kidnapped,
right? And
they're there to get the kid, and so they go into a cantina bar to like see what's up, and they figure out pretty quickly everybody kidnapped him.
Right, like the whole town's
the whole
on
town.
It. Yeah.
But they did it because the senator that's supposed to be representing them is just making himself rich and allowing them to
like companies
live
basically to come and like strip the land.
Which is great because I always love when they complicate it by showing you what's bad about the Republic. And it makes sense that Dooku experiencing things like this would become a separatist.
Right.
Look, I'm not going to defend the Empire. But you know what? More people had running water during the Empire. There's no slavery on Tatooine during the Empire. Like the Outer Rim, where Tatooine is, was completely lawless before the Empire. The Republic didn't stretch out that far. The Empire, the fucking trains came on time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like Rome. All the roads lead to Rome, but they were building those roads.
Yeah.
And the aqueducts and bringing all the water. Because you know what? They want to be comfortable when they get there.
You bet.
We'll talk about this with Visions, but it's like in Lapa Ocho, when Ocho's like, if you want progress, we have to embrace this. Like, we cannot be living in our like little shit farms all day. Like, they mean progress.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Bill and I have said many times in conversations that people don't want to have with us that we would be loyalists if the American Revolution were happening today instead of in 1770, whatever. I know it's 1776, the Declaration, but that's not when the revolution occurred. So.
Would you be like, what's the dude's name from Andor? The complete weird bootlicker guy?
I call him Corn Syrup because it's Cyril Karn.
Yeah.
It's syrup.
He just eats space Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Catherine Hunter.
The one who plays his mom.
Yeah. Incredible. I love her. She's got a great voice.
Yeah.
The one episode that we were discussing, Macbeth, the tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah.
And you said that they had a woman or a performer who was a contortionist who could do playing the witches.
Yeah.
That's her.
A real? Oh.
Yes.
She's so diminutive.
Yeah, she's so tiny.
Tiny.
But she's a Shakespearean stage actor.
Nice.
And notably, she's one of the few female performers who portrays Lear. She does King Lear.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Andor's a better show than this.
Yeah, much better. Just go watch Andor. Thank us later. Andor's the Star Wars show you've been waiting for. Mandalorian is, what is the Star Wars show I thought I was waiting for, but it's just a different thing, and I still love it. I still love it so much. But Andor is like prestige television.
Well, Andor is not. It's different. Like, I don't want everything to be like Andor.
I couldn't take it. It's just too much.
What makes Andor special is it's completely not. There's no fairy tale in it. Mm-hmm. It's just a real look at what this would be like.
Well, yeah, somebody trying to figure out the nuts and bolts of like what would life actually be like under this, not not having the luxury of being like a bounty hunter or a Jedi or like one of these special people.
Right. You either have to be even like a small little rebel in your soul and just be like, fuck them, and do what you do what they tell you because you just want to get along, or you have to be like someone like Cyril, who's like a weird Travis Bickle fucking bootlicker.
I call him an imperial fanatic. He's like a fan boy of the Empire,
and he's like justice, blah blah blah.
Right, and he thinks he's gonna get some reward from them. Like that's all he wants is like a pat on the head.
Right, and it's never gonna happen.
Right. Anyway, back to Duke. Okay, so they
go to a barn.
Right. So the kid is holed up in the barn with the people who kidnapped him. I mean, he has Stockholm syndrome, but really he just like seems to be an empathetic human being.
They explain to him. He says like, how could my father let it be this way?
Right. Like this is supposed to be their home planet.
Yeah.
And he's destroying it. So he sympathizes with their cause. He's like, no, forget. I'm staying by choice. Like we're bringing this guy down.
Not to be such a nerd. Mm-hmm. It's their home system. It might not be their home planet. Senators represent systems,
not just individual planets. Oh, I see.
I pushed my imaginary glasses up my nose. Yeah. But a senator's supposed to be fucking. I mean, we saw this in the prequels. They're all for fucking sale.
Yeah,
the senators, they're all for sale. And his kid sympathizes with it. And Dooku is like, this is what Dooku needs. Like Dooku's like he because they get there and it really is like squalor and it's like this is horrible.
Yeah.
And then the senator shows up.
Right. And his piece
dressed,
of shit.
Right. And he's got his own army. Mm-hmm. And they're all dressed like it's very like they look like UK like fucking.
They look like the Beefeater guards. Like
there's a lot of like tassels everywhere.
Yeah. It's just like weird costumes and stuff for Star Wars. It's very odd.
Yeah.
But like Dooku says, like I thought you were gonna let us handle this.
Right.
And he's like, well, you took too long.
Right.
And
well, that's another cool thing, which is Dooku is seeing very much that like all that the Jedi do
or enforce the will of the Senate.
Yeah, they're just servants to the Senate.
They're
They're not peacekeepers, really.
Oh God, what's his name? The philosopher. They're functionaries of the oppressive state apparatus.
Yes,
they're functionaries, basically. Yeah.
Engels?
No, it's Altair.
Okay. Killed his wife. Murderer.
From boredom?
No, I think he strangled her.
Jesus. Oh my God. That's maybe the most
Louis Althusser, folks.
Intimate way to kill someone.
Right?
Really. He must have really hated her.
Philosopher deaths is an interest of mine.
Really?
Like Walter Benjamin.
Yeah.
He committed suicide because he couldn't get like out of Germany. But like the next day the road opened. Like he was like 24 hours away from not committing suicide.
Oh my God.
Anyway, this is not at all. We're doing anything but talking about
these things because we just don't want to talk about it.
No, but okay. I do want to talk about it because this is cool. The senator and his guard show up and they have arms and then like the villagers pick up guns and Dooku stays on the side of the villagers.
Right.
Which is like real like insurrection shit. And Qui-Gon's kind of like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Qui-Gon's like, I don't know what's happening here.
Proves that he's a ride or die. He's like, okay, man.
Yeah. And Dooku pulls out his lightsaber. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm going to fight with these people. Right.
Which is a big deal. So basically you see the dark side in Dooku as well, because he doesn't show restraint and Qui-Gon has to stop him.
Well, he has a great line where he's like, he's about to kill his senator and he says, corruption like yours must be eradicated. And Qui-Gon comes in with the cooler head and goes to the son and like unhog-ties him and is like, go out there.
Go get your dad.
Because Dooku's going to murder him.
Go get him real quick.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. I have to say, Dooku was one of many ideas in the prequels that you could see the germ of something really interesting, but it just wasn't.
It never
developed.
paid off at all.
Like the.
I was always so confused about Dooku. I'm like, what? Duke? Where'd he come from?
What's his deal?
Who is he?
That whole conversation between him and Ewan McGregor in episode 2, where he's like trying to convince Obi-Wan to like be a separatist. It's confusing when you see it because that's a very poorly made movie. So you don't know if he's sincere or he's just trying to con Obi-Wan.
Right.
But looking at this other context, it's like, no, he was sincere.
Right. He really believed in his cause.
And he really believed the Jedi sucked.
Right. And he wasn't wrong.
Right.
They were very, like, just up their own ass at that point. Right. They really were the lapdogs actually they were the errand boys for the Senate. Right. They would just do anything.
And the Senate was just full of fucking
and the Senate was super corrupt. So, who watches the Watchmen? They needed, I mean, not that they needed to be cut down like Order 66 style, but they needed some to trim the fat.
Right.
In the Jedi. And yes, it's a very sympathetic portrayal of Dooku and his motivations. And you see the rebellious seed that's planted in Qui-Gon because in episode 1, he's always disregarding what they say. He's
a free thinker too.
Yes, he's not quite a separatist, but he's also like, these are...
I'll bend the rules.
Right. I'll ask for forgiveness rather than permission. I'm just going to do it.
Obi-Wan is more of a... Young Obi-Wan, at least, is way more of like a goody-good, we got to do what the council tells us.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, I'm not in this episode, but I guess the next one, it also makes me like a little side-eye at Mace Windu.
Yeah, Mace Windu being such a fucking... Yeah, I was really surprised by that. Yeah.
He was such an RA.
I know. I know.
Not cool at all.
So the third episode is called Choices. It's 15 minutes. Directed by Charles Murray. Written by Charles Murray and Elon Murray.
Elon Musk.
The Murrays. Elon, yes.
He wrote it in a series of tweets.
He wants to destroy Star Wars and Twitter.
Elon Musk is a solid Star Wars name, though.
Yeah. Yes. And a solid space villain. So this is... We see, so Dooku and Mace Windu go to a planet. I like this episode a lot, but the flaw is it's too similar to the one that came just before it.
Right. This is just their whole job. Yeah.
Right.
That's all they do.
So Dooku and Mace Windu go to a planet to retrieve the body of a Jedi who was killed there while working with its senator. And Dooku from jump is like, something smells fishy here.
Right. And also it's set up like a detective situation, but Mace Windu is so resistant to it, being like, no, we're not here to detect anything.
We're here to just get the body.
Why are we force sensitive if we're not detecting anything? Like, we're just ignoring what we're feeling at that point. That's why I'm like, what? I don't like this characterization of Mace Windu of being like, I have horse blinders on. I'm just going to go into the situation, do as I'm told, and go back.
Yeah, I thought he was cooler than that.
Yeah, I thought so too. He has a purple lightsaber.
Then again, he is kind of a goody-good because he should have just he could have ended all of Star Wars by
just killing the Emperor. Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to arrest you.
Good luck.
Yeah, now you're dead, dummy.
You fell out a window.
Dummy. You got enjoy the one arm as you die.
Now you're Snoke, as some people thought.
Oh my God, people suck. Oh, wait, I'm sure you've heard the theories of people saying...
No, Deirdre. Have you heard that one?
No. Deirdre?
Yeah.
I heard the one I heard was that it's Andy Serkis's character because he also played
Snoke. Please, the headlines the next day after his like amazing episode were like Andy Serkis is ready for all the people who think he is Snoke. It's like, no, he's not. Please leave me alone.
I know.
No, and this one I take real personal offense to. There's online theories that Deidre is Hux's mom. I'm like, right, because we can't understand a female character on her own terms. She has to be someone's mom or lover or sister.
She's already a way better character than Hux is in 3 movies.
She's amazing. She's so pitch perfect. She's great.
But what's really interesting about her is she is insignificant.
We're fine.
She's just a middle management wonk who's fighting with the guy in the cubicle next to her, and no one gives a shit about her, and she's not going to be really important.
Right. I mean, look at the raid when she called in. She's like, I should have been consulted. He's like, what? Who cares?
Right.
Go do your job.
Right. What the fuck is...
Yeah. God, the show's so good. And I'm rooting for her at times.
Well, you start rooting for her because you see the misogyny.
She's the only woman in the room. And it's like, oh, God. Fuck anyone who thinks she's Hux's mom.
Well, get
the hell out of here.
The
insistence to shove it all together. Like, I'm gonna put this triangle in this square piece, and I'm gonna make it fit.
No, I mean, there's nothing about her that would make you even think that
she's British,
right?
And she's on a spaceship,
right?
I know like 3 British people on spaceships.
They're nobodies. This is like, it's like this. There've been a few like books like this and TV shows like this where it's like, here's what the real world's doing when the protagonists are doing their thing and this is what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what, I mean, there's important stuff happening, but that's kind of what you're seeing in,
right.
Like, even like Andor, he dies on the beach and that's it.
That's
like,
it.
Like,
no, I mean, most people don't know his name, who he is.
And Luthen says, no one knows who Luthen is.
Right?
No one knows what he did or the dark shit he did. Because the legend you want is like Luke. You want like, this great guy he came, right? You don't want to, right? He's easy to like, unlike Luthen, who's like, I fucking will let people die just to protect myself and protect the cause.
There's no like who shot first, like the Han Solo argument, because he has to be like a spotless hero. It's like he does not hesitate to kill, and they show that all the time.
Yeah. So Dooku knows something's up.
Back to our Andor talk.
So Dooku knows something is up.
Yeah.
Windows a Boy Scout about it. The senator says he was trying to make contact with some rebels, and they were attacked, and the Jedi was killed. Which Dooku's like, okay. So they asked the senator to bring them to the place where the murder happened. And Dooku notices there's no blaster marks on the ship. So the story of them being immediately ambushed makes no sense. And Dooku gets angry and takes out his lightsaber, which Mace is like, whoa, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then the senator runs and he's like, it was them, it was the guards. They made me say it. And you realize, and he gets shot in the back. And you realize it's the guards that were behind it.
Right.
But again, they feel like they're being screwed. They feel like their senator has been giving away resources. And like the senators get rich by making trade deals and by exploiting their own resources.
Right.
And they, what was exactly their plan? They wanted to take
him hostage, right?
Right. So they can push forward their own agenda in the Senate.
What was their agenda? Just like stop drilling?
Or whatever something like that. He's been selling off the planet to outside developers for profit. The captain of the guard, who has 2 different color eyes, very cool design.
Interesting. It's a beautiful planet.
Yeah.
What planet is this?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
The thing is, and it is so similar to the one before it.
Yeah.
This one does feel like they're a little out of hand because, like, why'd you kill it? You don't have to kill that Jedi.
Right.
Like, it's not quite as sympathetic. It doesn't seem like you guys are living in complete squalor like the other planet.
Right.
But it does seem like they're building a case.
Right.
And, it's building Dooku's case against the Republic, the Senate in particular, and the Jedi, because you also see that aside from his Padawan, he doesn't have an ally. You know, like Mace is not willing to hear this.
In the end, you find out that Mace
gets promoted.
Right. And he's like, did you know you would get promoted before we went on this mission? You fucking...
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'll put in a word for you. He's like,
motherfucker.
But so then it's like, okay, so the people who are getting heard, the people who are being heard are people who are just making sure they toe the line. Like they are completely on message all the time.
Yeah. I want to read this note that I wrote. Mm-hmm. Seeing how corrupt the Republic was, and also watching Andor and seeing how fascist the Empire is, makes me wonder what the answer is. Does Star Wars have an answer to the question of how do you run a civil state? The Empire falls, but then the First Order pops right up in its place. Is there no hope for peace, or am I just reading deeper into it when really they just want more content? Because it's very depressing when you really look at it all in totality.
You take it apart.
It's like peace is not possible. The Republic is horrible. The Empire is horrible. Mm-hmm. There's another Republic.
Right. And when they're left to self-govern, slavery shows up and like all kinds of nonsense.
The First Order pops right back up. Mm-hmm. It's very depressing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there is a deeper thing or if it's just like, no, we gotta keep making stuff.
Oh God, we're back to Andor talk. But like, what I love about the show is they show the Imperial supporters, and I don't just mean Karn, who's like kind of a nut. I mean like when Mon Mothma is having her like cocktail parties, and the other senators are like, well, we need this kind of. Right. We can't have people running amok like but like it was before or whatever. You know, I don't know if they remember a time before the Republic.
Right.
But it's like see what happens in these like outer rim areas. You know, that we don't reach. It's lunacy out there. Like we have to have.
Meanwhile, they're like so rich.
Yeah,
and they're just like they're at a schmancy cocktail party while having these conversations.
It's all very bourgeois at this point.
Yeah. All right, so episode 4 is called The Sith Lord. 17 minutes, directed by Sal Ruiz. Written by Dave Filoni.
It still doesn't answer, you know, all this like supplemental material still doesn't answer the question of like how'd they get hooked up.
Who?
Sidious and
Sidious and Dooku?
Yeah. I mean, he's what? He's a senator at this point, or he's the chancellor?
He's the chancellor.
He's the chancellor
because he becomes the chancellor in episode 1. But does Dooku know that that's Palpatine, or because or does he know him as Sidious, a Sith Lord?
Well, I mean, okay. When he's prior to him being melted, he just walks around with a hoodie on, right? Like it's not like he has a mask,
right?
So. I mean, I imagine being familiar with the members of the Senate, he would know what he looked like.
Well, I guess.
It's like, that's Marjorie Taylor Greene in a hoodie.
well, I mean,
she is.
There is a little bit of a Superman thing, Superman Clark Kent glasses thing with him, you know, in episode 1.
I get that. Yeah, I see that. Like when he's just in his little hood, like you don't recognize who he is. Because he covers his eyes. It's just see his nose and his mouth.
Because it seems like it is more political for Dooku.
Right.
So if he knew that the person he was consorting with was actually the Chancellor of the Republic.
Right.
Who's like trying to... Because that's the thing. Like Dooku believes in the war. Mm-hmm. But the war is just... The bad guys both sides. He's just creating a war to destabilize the galaxy. Mm-hmm. So
is this the one that starts with Qui-Gon's funeral?
Yes.
Okay. That was a really beautiful moment.
This is a star-studded episode.
Yeah.
We've got Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor.
Yeah.
And he doesn't usually do the animated stuff.
They
have other people but he did it. And Bryce Dallas Howard as Yaddle.
I guess because of her deft handling of Baby Yoda. She got to be Yaddle.
She knows that race. She knows that race.
She's so good with him.
She is.
She's got a mother's touch. She knows exactly what to do with him.
I'd say give her a movie, but
I love her episodes.
A lady can't direct a movie.
She might get a period.
Oh God, I got blood all over the film.
No thanks. Not for me. No lady directors, no lady pilots.
So the story, the cold open begins during the Phantom Menace. It's there in Coruscant, and it's right after Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon have encountered the Sith.
Yeah,
Dooku. We see Dooku erase the file.
Yes.
Of Sifo Dyas, which is one of the most confusing things in episode 2.
Yeah.
Of like, who's Sifo Dyas? Why did he create the clones?
Right. No, I don't want to get into it. I was going to ask you, like, why did he erase that file?
I don't know.
Forget it. But it's confirmed that he is the one who erased it.
We see a character that a lot of people like, is the librarian, the old librarian lady.
Oh. She's never even registered on my
people love her.
People to even look at.
Yeah.
like all service workers. I don't even look at her.
Yeah. So that's a cold open, and then it says Tales of the Jedi, and then we cut to after episode 1. And Qui-Gon's
he's
dead.
Standing in the courtyard. He's looking at a tree. He's having a moment prior to the funeral, which he says he's not going to go to. It's just too much for him.
He seems genuinely hurt, and he seems genuinely like he might turn back. Because he goes, he leaves, and he goes to like his secret meeting with Palpatine, and he's like, this is too far. Like, this is not what we discussed.
Right.
Like, people are dying now. He seems
Someone
genuinely
really
heartbroken
that
Qui-Gon died. It's really interesting, and it becomes like a ride or die moment for him because Yaddle shows up and fucks up everything.
Well, Yaddle comes and interrupts his meditative moment.
Right, in front of the very autumnal tree.
Yeah. It's like, hey, how you doing? You going to this thing? And
I hear there's going to be cake.
You know I love cake.
Oh, shit, there's going to be cake?
Yaddle loves cake.
Couldn't this have been an email?
This could have been a Zoom. Yeah, so Yaddle talks to him. They do seem to have a relationship beyond, like, colleagues. They seem to be friendly with each other.
I think there's a history there.
Oh? Yaddle tattle. It's all in. Listen, page 6 of Yaddle tattle has all of this. But they do seem to have like a camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like she seems to be able to like talk to him about real stuff, not like, oh, sorry about your friend. Like
yeah.
And so they have this discussion, and then he goes to his meeting,
which is like in this weird like
it's like a hangar or something. I don't know where they are,
but it's like got this round opening.
Are they off planet or
no? It's definitely in Coruscant.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
Yaddle like tails him because she's like, that guy was being weird.
Yeah, Yaddle's like, I have a bad feeling about this, so I'm gonna go. Also, maybe she's trying to follow him to a second location. You know,
right?
You know how
maybe
Yaddle
she's like,
gets.
You know what? So we're all in a mood. There was a funeral today,
and nothing makes you feel more alive after a wake than
fucking someone you shouldn't.
That's
fucking
right.
somebody you told all your friends you weren't gonna fuck anymore.
Oh my god.
Yaddle girl. Do not tell me.
Yaddle, get a grip.
Do not tell me that you hooked up with Dooku again.
Oh my god.
He was so sad. It was after the funeral.
Oh my god. You followed him.
Listen, he needed a friend.
So she follows him for some nookie.
Canon. That's canon.
That's canon now. And she catches him having this meeting.
She hears everything.
Yeah,
she hears the whole shabam. And what's really interesting,
and that's why her hairline starts back here because it knocked her wig back when she heard it.
What's interesting is she says to Dooku, like, I agree with you. This is why I left the council.
This is not the way to do it.
Consorting with the Sith is not the way to do it.
And I agree with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and then they fight.
And she gets crushed by a big door, like a big metal, like factory door. And then, so you think she's dead, and then she forces it open and then immediately dies like 2 seconds later.
Right. It's like a triumphant, I opened it, and then she just falls and dies.
Then she dies. She's like, that was my last bit of strength.
Yeah, and then the Emperor's like, you were doubting me before, but you can renew my trust in you if you just murder her right now.
Yeah,
and he
finishes
kills
it.
her.
Yeah,
and that's what happened to Yaddle, folks.
Poor Yaddle.
What if her last words were like, I have a son.
Oh, Baby Yoda.
Hide him. He's in a little egg.
Oh God. I keep him under my bed. Oh, Yaddle. Yeah. So, my God, you know what? Honestly, I think Yaddle Tattle would have so many storylines. Like, you could print an issue.
Yeah.
There's enough rumors about her. So it's this thing where he, you know, it's just there's no way back for him after this. Like, this is the defining moment.
Yeah. Another Jedi.
Yeah, he's done. He's completely come over. And, you know, it's kind of that thing of like, you see it in Visions, and you see it in the prequels with Anakin. Actually, well, I guess you don't see it in Visions. They kind of bring somebody back. But it's almost like the Sith are like a gang, like in the sense that they need like a blood initiation. Like, you got to take the life of another Jedi to get in.
Or they're like...
or they just have you at that point.
Or they're like the Scientologists, with like they need some dirt on you.
Oh, yeah.
They need collateral.
They have something to hold over you.
They need collateral.
So they know that you're weak.
Yeah.
They've weakened you now.
Yeah.
And it'll only make you angry that you can't get out of it, and that's what they want. Yeah. So, but you know what? I also think of Jenny Nicholson when I think of the Sith, because she's like, why aren't they just the opposite of the Jedi? Like, they're actually not the opposite of the Jedi. They have so many of the same rules.
Right.
It's like, you should just be like, yeah, we use the Force, but we're the dark side party. Yeah, marry whoever you want. Come have fun over here. Like,
if you ever read like the supplemental material, like there's like a couple of years ago they published like a Jedi handbook and a Sith handbook. A lot of that stuff's interesting, but it doesn't translate into the show. Like, if you read like the Sith philosophy, it's basically just like, live for the moment. If you have power, it's good to have power. It's very Ayn Randian.
Right.
It's kind of like not we're evil boogeyman. It's kind of like we should use the Force to make our lives better, and why give it away?
Why not?
They should believe that they're good guys.
Yeah, but they don't.
No.
They're like, we're evil.
We're super duper
We want to be evil.
Well, the thing that I always found super weird about the Sith was the rule of 2.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of Sith all the time.
But also it's like,
there are always 2, except when there are 4.
But one
and sometimes there are 7.
But also like the idea that like the master-apprentice relationship, which they have just like the Jedi, always ends in some murder. One will kill the other.
Right.
And how is that healthy? How is that growth? Where's the growth potential?
Yeah. I mean, this is not a business model for growth at all. How can you take over if there's only ever 2 of you? Right. It doesn't make any sense.
Or you have like Palpatine has Anakin kill Dooku.
Right. Well, you know, I find that despite I feel like the rule of 2, that was so limiting, and also they broke that immediately. Like, they always had more than 2. Because then you have like, you're like, oh, at the same time that Darth Maul is around, there's Ventress, and then they have like this iron in the fire with Anakin. They want him to come over, and then like Dooku's kind of an apprentice, not really, and like it's just there's too many people, and that's fine as long as you haven't just immediately set up this rule that we're just gonna break.
Yeah. So we go from that interesting story to episode 5. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
It's 12 minutes. It's written by Dave Filoni and directed by Sal Ruiz. It's truly pointless.
It's basically like, and here's how Ahsoka survived Order 66.
Yeah.
Because Anakin made sure that she could handle blasters, like 100 blasters at once, and drilled her until she could do it no problem at all. So they had no chance in shooting her ever. And also, what's his face? The clone... Like the good clone, overrode his Rex. Rex overrode his like chip through sheer force of will, and didn't kill her when he could have.
Right. Well, in the Rebels timeline, like there's like old Rex, like a fat old bald Rex is like with her.
Yeah. Well, okay. So where are they? So
I think I might be wrong. Do they refer to her in Andor?
No,
because I know at some point.
So.
At some point in the Rebels' history, she is called Fulcrum.
Fulcrum.
Like, she has a code name in the Rebel.
Okay. Interesting.
So, anyway. Let me tell you what I resent. I have always resented, and this is another reason I don't like the Clone Wars. I've resented this version of Anakin because it's Dave Filoni's fanboying and trying to make George Lucas's stuff better. Like this Anakin, who's smart and thoughtful and a good teacher, that's not the guy we saw in episode 2 or episode 3.
No.
We've never seen this Anakin. This doesn't gel at all with the Anakin that's in the films. He is And in 3, like maybe 2, you could say, okay, he's younger than, and Clone Wars is between 2 and 3. But in 3, he's not better. He's not this Anakin in 3. Mm-mm. This has always been a different Anakin. And I get, like, you have a show, so what, you have to make your character good. And Anakin is never more interesting than he is in the Clone Wars. And he's never more of like a protagonist and like a hero than he is in Clone Wars. But it's also like, it's like a shell game. Like, this isn't, I see what you're doing here.
Right. Well, I guess it's just to make it all the more heartbreaking. Like, oh my God, how could he do this? But when you watch episode 3, you understand how he could do this because he's a pretty fragile character.
Right. I can't see him being a teacher of any kind or having an apprentice. Yeah. Well, first she does like, we see her in like a dojo, I guess, inside the Jedi Temple, and she's doing like a lightsaber test, but Anakin's being bitchy about it, and he's like, wow,
it's not that hard of a test.
Right, I'll give you a real test. And then
he gatekeeps her, but to her benefit,
you bet. and yeah, basically it's just he has a bunch of clones come and stun her, and she like and they just do it over and over. It's very like the Whiplash training.
I've
actually never seen that.
Okay. So, I mean, basically it's like abusive training.
Yes.
But obviously it benefits her. And also it sort of is emphasizing that like Jedi training isn't even good.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
Right.
That's why I was able to kill all those little babies.
Yeah.
Oh man. Except for the one that got away and then she was in Obi-Wan. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me too upset. What a piece of shit that show was.
I liked Obi-Wan.
Did you?
I did.
What? I did not. No, I did not. Well, I was deeply disappointed by that show.
I know that it breaks canon.
Not that part.
Oh, I was going to say a lot of people don't like it because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I'm true to myself in my not caring about canon.
Yeah. I just... There's so many. It's just poorly written.
I think he's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
So
I think he elevates the prequels. I think he's one of the best parts, if not the best part of the prequels.
I think in some ways it does. I think fit, and in some ways it doesn't fit at all.
I was so eager to see him revisit the character. I was really excited about it.
I really like the little girl who played.
She's adorable. Yeah. They're selling Lola 5'9". Did you see that?
Yes, I have seen that. I have seen that.
You're like, I've seen it in my room.
Lola.
I have one. No, I just, there's this thing now. It's like Obi-Wan, that time in Obi-Wan where he didn't understand how twins work. Where he's like, how old are you? It's like, well, gee, I don't know. I'm the twin of the boy you've been watching for the past 10 years.
The boy you've been watching. So what's worse, Obi-Wan or Boba Fett?
That's a good question. And... I think Obi-Wan because
really,
yeah, and now okay,
really,
because not that the quality is worse. I actually think the quality is better in terms of like production value and like the actors who are involved in it, and that's not like disparaging anybody who's in Boba Fett. I just think like maybe the caliber is a little higher in Obi-Wan, but at least Boba Fett, you're like, okay. I mean, this kind of makes sense. Not even fitting into canon, just like characters' actions and motivations make sense.
Yeah.
In Obi-Wan, it's like no one's acting like a human being. Well, human being. I mean, no one's acting like a person would act.
Yeah.
In these situations, it's just very disorienting. Like it's weird. They just behave very weirdly.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can just just pick apart like so much that's happening. Like
it's really unnecessary.
It's completely unnecessary. But like in one episode alone, it's like, okay, you've been charged to find this girl and bring her back. That's your sole mission. Okay, why do you keep handing her off to other people?
Right.
And why do those people keep handing her off to other people?
Right.
And then just things like there's a big fire between you and Darth Vader and he can't get past it to get to you, but you could just like walk around it to get away from him. Like just like stupid. It's just lazily written.
Well,
like why did you look in the droid so they could have your whole face on profile before if you were just going to smash it anyway?
Right.
Why didn't you go around the barrier? that ended 2 feet away from you. Like, it's just weird, weird, stupid shit like that is all over the show. Like, it's all over. It's not even like that happened once. It happened like 10 times an episode where you're like, who wrote this? What happened here? So, I mean, I can't even think, oh, God, Andor. I can't even think of like one instance of that happening in Andor because it just seems like people actually cared in the room. And it wasn't just a cash grab.
I said to you, Andor's a real grown-up drama because there are times I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
There are times I'm like, wait, what's happening?
Like with the Mon Mothma, like financial stuff.
Well, and then in the last episode, she gets out of it by throwing her husband under the bus and saying he's a fucking...
Which now is great because they think they have some dirt on her when in fact she's just saving her ass by throwing him under the bus. Yeah, he would have done the same.
But then she still fucking let her daughter go. And
she wants it. She wants to be like a space nun or whatever.
Weird.
Whatever weird thing that is. I like that they just never even address it. They're like, she's just in her like weird little religious Girl Scout meetings and hanging out with her friends, praying, doing whatever.
And then the cousin's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I know. She's like, oh, please don't do that. And she's like, no, neither of us want her to do this. She's into it.
So episode 6 is called Resolve.
Yeah.
16 minutes, written by Filoni, directed by Ruiz again.
Yeah.
This is interesting in that.
Oh wait, sorry, we didn't finish with the Ahsoka one before. It's basically like you see it run through her training, and then it flashes forward to, is it the end of like the series Clone Wars?
It's I don't know. I think it's just some battle
where she basically senses that Order 66 has happened, that Anakin has killed. She senses.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, when she's like,
I thought it was just
like she senses this great disturbance that has to do with Anakin, and that's when he's killing the younglings.
But doesn't she go with a bunch of clones at the end?
Well, that's when
doesn't a hangar open up and there's a bunch of clones, and then she like gets on a ship with them?
No, right?
I really thought that it ends with just like you now see her going into a battle during the Clone Wars.
No. I mean, the isn't there that scene where she's gonna be killed with Order 66, and then Rex is like, she's like, something's wrong with Anakin. Like, I have to get back there.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh my god, what did I watch?
Who did I hit?
Well, I don't know then.
Yeah. So
the whole point was that she survived Order 66 because Anakin did this for her.
I think you're wrong in assuming there's a point.
Okay.
I think it's truly
you know what, that's fair.
Pointless.
That's fair.
So episode 6 is called Resolve.
Yeah.
So it begins with Padme's funeral.
Yeah.
They recreated pretty well from episode 3, but like looking like in that style. You see Mon Mothma and Bail Organa, watching, and they see Ahsoka, and they're like, okay.
Oh, that part was funny. That actually made me laugh. Where he's like, if you ever need anything from me, because he's like out on the deck and she's hiding up on the ceiling, and the stormtroopers are like, sir, you can't be in this part. And he's like, oh, my mistake. Yeah. And then he's talking to her by talking to them, and he's saying all this stuff, and he's like, and if you should ever need anything from me, please don't hesitate to come. And they're like, oh, okay. Thanks.
It's an interesting piece because it's an important piece because it's how Ahsoka joins the rebellion.
Right.
She was a Jedi. She left the Jedi Order, and she's kind of like, after the funeral, Bail is like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be here. And she's kind of just like lost and drifting.
Yeah. And it starts the kung fu journey that she has, where she like travels from town to town.
Right. Under, the of mice and men situation she finds herself in. And
she's like harvesting wheat or whatever.
Right. He gives her communicator.
He gives her a talk boy and is like, just give me a call whenever you can.
Yeah. So after the title card, she's living mice and men life. She's there. There's a brother and sister.
She's like a day laborer.
Yeah, basically.
She's a migrant worker is what she is. I mean, she goes where the work is.
And
there's a real piece of shit.
Stupid brother whose negligence almost kills his sister. She almost gets crushed by hails of...
big bales of hay.
And, the Jedi, their compassion leaves a footprint.
And then the girls
cannot help themselves.
Oh my god! That girl is zero chill. She's like, you're a Jedi. How awesome. Yeah. She's like, shut your fucking mouth.
Like, shh, that was quite a coincidence that you didn't die.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Please leave me alone.
Luthen would have let her die.
Luthen would have been like, come here for a sec, and just stabbed her right in the gut.
Oh, I'm a what? Just.
Oh, and you're dead now.
You got a big mouth, and it got you killed. This brother sucks. But what's cool about this brother is it's one of the only times in Star Wars I think anyone says "May the Force be with you" in a threatening way.
Yeah.
Because the girl, the sister and Ahsoka are like gonna go into the town to sell the goods.
Right.
And as they're like being seen off, the brother says to Ahsoka, "May the Force be with you."
And so she's like
threateningly going like, I know that you're a Jedi,
and I'm gonna sell you out.
Right. Which he fucking does.
Which he does.
It does not work for him even a little bit.
Very poorly.
Yeah, because they come back and the whole village is on fire. It's
gone. It's just gone. The village is off the map now. It burned to the ground, and I guess was an Inquisitor's there.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to be rewarded.
Man. Yeah.
He's like, but I told you. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's being evil.
Yeah. And, Ahsoka saves the boy.
Yeah.
Force pushes the Inquisitor away from, or Force pushes the boy away before the Inquisitor's blade can like cut his head off.
Yeah.
The Inquisitor recognizes her and he's like, Ahsoka Tano, you're alive. Because they think she died.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Did you ever watch Rebels?
No.
There's a big, I think season 2 ends, the finale has a big lightsaber fight between Ahsoka and Darth Vader. And there's a moment where like they connect through the Force and Vader realizes that she's alive. Rebels is a better show. Than and slightly better animation. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, I've seen it's
slightly better. You know what was really good animation? The fucking Resistance, but that show blew.
Resistance.
It was like it's during the sequel era. It's
Oh, is it the pilots? Like all the pilots? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen that. It looks kind of like cell shaded.
Yeah, it's cool looking, but
is Bad Batch still around?
Yes, there's a new season of that coming out. That's just a spinoff of Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. There's too many of these things.
Yeah. They just need to. There's another season of Visions coming out, so they just need to just keep doing year. Visions.
Yeah.
So at the end, Ahsoka saves the kid, and she calls Bail Organa, and she, I guess, joins the rebellion,
right?
Because you see in Rebels that she is a big part of the rebellion.
Oh, okay.
And I guess you're gonna see. Well, no, it's after Ahsoka is during Mandalorian time, so it's after Return of the Jedi. So I guess I don't know what she's doing. Oh, she's looking for the character Ezra from Rebels. Okay. Because him and Grand Admiral Thrawn both got lost together. That's the other thing that bothers me about Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Which is he has his own storylines that he's interested in, and he connects his own little world. Like with him, it's all about what's Ahsoka doing, what are the characters from Rebels doing. Anyways, so that's a show that we saw.
That's a show. And that's the show.
And I want to thank you for listening to the most half-hearted episode of PCMC.
This ended up being like our State of Star Wars episode.
Yeah. Well, we had originally planned to record earlier, and our original plan was to record before Andor ended. But we had to push it, so Andor ended. But we didn't just say let's do an episode on Andor. And here we are. So this has been PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm here with Mon Janine Gagliardi.
But it's not Mon Mothma.
Name, or is Mon is like Moth? I always thought Mon.
Well, no, because she's like Vel and Mon. Like those seem to be their first names. But there's also Mon Calamari.
Right.
If they were related, I'd be very surprised. They're through marriage.
It's only fitting that we end this episode by talking about Mon Mothma. What's amazing about Mon Mothma is she's like Boba Fett. She has one scene, but she exudes this grace and elegance that makes you go, who is this person?
It's called poise, and she's got it.
Yeah.
She's absolutely stunning. I love her. Another beautiful woman in all white.
Yeah.
Well, I love that when they did the Family Guy Star Wars, and she's like, oh, it's the only other woman who's ever been in Star Wars, and Lois just leans over and goes, I don't like her.
This is PCMC. We come out every Wednesday. We end every episode by saying,
go bye-bye.